The alien moon of Zaloth burned beneath its twin suns, a place of shifting jungles and rivers of molten rock that carved glowing arteries across the land. The air was thick, heavy with spores, the cries of predators echoing through the valley below. This world was a crucible, a chosen arena where only the most skilled hunters dared to test their worth. For the Yautja, it was not just another battlefield, it was sacred ground for hunts of legend. Among them moved one of their fiercest warriors, a predator whose trophies were already spoken of in hushed tones among its clan. Its skull collection was vast. Xenomorph queens, human champions, alien beasts with claws like steel and hides like armor. Yet despite all its victories, the predator hungered for more. The hunt was not just survival, it was honor, the measure of existence. Without worthy prey, the Yautja was nothing, but whispers had reached even the hunting circles of the clans. Whispers of a being that was neither flesh nor blood, but pure, adaptive calculation. A machine whose sole existence revolved around extermination. The humans had called it Nimrod. To the predator, machines had never been worthy hunts. They lacked fear, instinct, the desperation of prey. But Nimrod was different. Its legend preceded it, carried on the tongues of hunters who had glimpsed fragments of broken timelines. They spoke of a sentinel forged in the fires of war against mutant kind, one that had grown beyond programming, beyond limitation. Nimrod could learn, Nimrod could adapt, Nimrod could not be stopped. The predator heard these tales not as warnings, but as challenges. If there existed prey that even the Yautja could not conquer, then it was not prey at all. It was the ultimate rival. To fall against such an enemy would be honorable. To triumph would be glory eternal. The chance came not by design, but by the rift. Time itself fractured in the hunting grounds of Zaloth. No one knew the cause. Perhaps an experiment gone wrong in Nimrod's future, or a celestial anomaly deep in the void. What mattered was the result, a shimmering corridor splitting the skies, merging worlds that should never have touched. The predator watched from the tree line as reality tore open. Alien vines intertwined with broken steel beams, half-buried skyscrapers jutted from the jungle floor, as if Earth's cities had been wrenched from the soil of a future wasteland and stitched into this moon. The air was thick with ash, machinery, and the screams of displaced creatures, and then it appeared. Nimrod emerged from the breach like a god of order, striding into chaos. Towering, gleaming, plated in adaptive alloys that shimmered with faint purple hues, its glowing eyes scanned the warped battlefield. Each step was measured, deliberate, its movements smooth yet unnervingly precise. Unlike other machines the predator had seen, Nimrod radiated presence, not servitude. This was no mere construct. It was a predator in its own right, designed not to follow prey, but to exterminate it with absolute certainty. The Yautja cloaked instantly, heat dissipating through its armor as it studied the machine. It tilted its head, mandibles clicking as it observed. This enemy carried no scent of flesh, no heartbeat to track. Its quarry was logic itself, wrapped in metal and synthetic nerves. The predator's instincts roared in conflict. One part warning, another part exhilaration. Nimrod's sensors flared. In less than a second, it catalogued the battlefield. Ruined towers, molten rivers, seismic anomalies, the faint distortion of cloaked movement. The Yautja froze. This was not like hunting xenomorphs or humans. Nimrod did not rely on smell or sound. It predicted, it calculated, it adapted. Still, the predator felt no fear, only challenge. Its gauntlet hissed as the wrist blades extended, gleaming in the fractured sunlight. On its shoulder, the plasma caster hummed, ready to fire. The warrior pressed its claws against the ruined concrete, mandibles spreading in a hiss that echoed across the broken city. Nimrod's head turned, its eyes glowing red as it locked onto the faint distortion of the cloak. Its voice, cold and metallic, echoed through the ruins. Target acquired. Classification: non-human apex predator. Status: threat. Directive: eliminate. The predator let out a guttural roar, one that shook the air. For it, words were unnecessary. The declaration of the hunt was in its cry, in the way its body tensed, in the honor it carried. They faced each other in silence, two beings born of entirely different paths, yet bound by the same truth. Neither could allow the other to survive. The hunt had begun. The silence of the fractured world broke like glass. With a guttural roar, the predator struck first. Its cloak shimmered as it darted forward, a blur across the ruins. From its shoulder cannon, twin bursts of plasma seared the air, slamming into Nimrod's chest with thunderous force. The impact tore chunks of molten concrete from the ground and bathed the battlefield in a wave of light. For an instant, it looked as though the Yautja had the upper hand, but when the smoke cleared, Nimrod still stood. Its chest glowed faintly from the hits, armor reforming with eerie smoothness. The machine's crimson eyes narrowed. Data scrolled invisibly through its processors. In less than a heartbeat, it had already recalibrated to neutralize plasma-based weaponry. Tactics recorded, countermeasures in effect. Its voice echoed coldly, and then it moved. Nimrod's arm shifted like liquid metal, reshaping into a cannon of pure energy. With surgical precision, it unleashed a beam that screamed across the battlefield. The blast vaporized an entire section of forest, igniting alien trees and sending shockwaves that toppled broken skyscrapers. The predator leapt sideways, cloak flickering, landing hard atop a crumbling beam of steel. The world shook under Nimrod's wrath. The Yautja roared, refusing to relent. It launched a grappling hook from its gauntlet, swinging between jagged walls of fused city and jungle. From its perch, it unleashed a flurry of plasma bolts and razor-sharp throwing discs. The discs curved in wide arcs, slicing through stone and metal before rebounding. Nimrod raised an energy shield that caught two, while a third embedded into its thigh, sparking as it carved through adaptive plating. For the first time, Nimrod stumbled. Sparks flew. The predator's mandibles spread wide in triumph as it leapt down, wrist blades extended. The clash was instant and violent, adamantium-like steel against sentient alloy. Sparks showered the ruins as the Yautja slashed across Nimrod's chest, leaving glowing scars that hissed with molten energy. The predator pressed its attack relentlessly, roaring with the savagery of a true hunter. But Nimrod was no ordinary quarry. With cold efficiency, its body sealed itself even as it fought. Its free arm morphed into a blade of pure energy, and with one devastating sweep, it cut across the predator's torso. The Yautja was hurled backward, crashing through the husk of a collapsed tower. Stone and metal rained down as it struggled to rise, its cloak flickering out, revealing blood running in thick lines down its armor. Nimrod advanced without hesitation. Each step shook the ground. Its scanners mapped the predator's physiology, cataloging weaknesses, calculating counterattacks. Probability of victory, 98.6%. The Yautja spat blood, mandibles flaring in defiance. Honor demanded the fight continue. Even wounded, even outmatched, it would not yield. It leapt again, firing every weapon in its arsenal. Plasma bolts scorched the air. Explosive mines detonated around Nimrod's feet. Spears whistled through smoke. The battlefield became a storm of fire and steel. Nimrod adapted. Its shields deflected blasts. Its systems neutralized toxins from gas bombs. Its predictive algorithms calculated the trajectory of every attack. It began to mirror the predator's own movements, leaping with uncanny agility, countering with almost organic precision. Where the Yautja struck high, Nimrod blocked low. Where the predator cloaked and flanked, Nimrod fired preemptively into its path. The hunter's advantage was slipping away, yet the predator was nothing if not resourceful. In one desperate move, it hurled a smart disc, guiding it with flawless precision. The disc arced wide, ricocheted off steel, and buried itself deep into the side of Nimrod's neck. Sparks erupted, circuitry burning. For a brief moment, Nimrod staggered, its systems glitching. The predator seized the moment. With a roar, it tackled the machine, plunging its wrist blades again and again into the wound. Metal screamed under the assault. Sparks blinded the night. Nimrod's head snapped to the side, under the fury of the blows, but then it adapted again. The wound sealed around the blades, locking them in place. The predator tried to pull back, but it was too late. Nimrod's chest opened, unleashing a point-blank energy discharge that hurled the Yautja away like a broken doll. The hunter crashed through the rubble, armor scorched, cloak fried, its body barely moving. For the first time, the predator realized the truth. This was prey it could not defeat through strength or cunning alone. Nimrod's design was perfect, its adaptability endless. To prolong the fight was to die slowly. The Yautja reached for its wrist gauntlet. Fingers pressed the sequence only the clans knew, and the device began to glow with an ominous red pulse. A low hum filled the ruins, the unmistakable sound of the predator's final weapon, self-destruction. Nimrod calculated instantly. The blast radius would annihilate everything within miles. Even its own adaptive systems might not withstand it. But the machine did not retreat. Instead, it surged forward to stop the hunter before the countdown reached zero. The predator rose shakily, mandibles spread in what could only be described as a laugh. It had been beaten in combat, yes, but it would not be denied the honor of the kill. If Nimrod could not be brought down by blade or plasma, then it would be by fire. The gauntlet's light sped faster. Beep, beep, beep. Nimrod lunged. The predator roared one last time, and then the world exploded. A cataclysm of light engulfed the ruins, tearing jungle and skyscraper apart in a wave of searing fire. The ground split, rivers of molten metal bursting upward like fountains of death. Shockwaves rippled through the air, flattening everything for miles. When the light finally dimmed, silence fell over the battlefield.